Now broadcasting. Okay, I am in.
Like when?
Dark Phoenix.
Say YT means YouTube. Maybe he's streaming and we can cheat.
Okay. You guys ready?
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Jupiter's Croc here on the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel. My name is Matthew. Joining me, as always, down there in Memphis is Ronan.
Yep.
You sound a little down. Did you have an okay day? Do you need a little pick-me-up?
Oh no, I'm good. I have a bag of trolley gummy worms, sour gummy worms. It's gonna be okay.
What do you think of the twin snakes?
The
fuck
Metal
it.
Gear.
No,
the
no,
Metal Gear
just
Solid
stop.
remake?
Just stop. Joining also of a fine connoisseur of the twin snakes here in Lincoln is Steve, also known as Spartacus.
Twin snakes are amazing.
Yes,
They should be in like everyone's pool of go-to candy.
absolutely. Ronan, you've never heard of the twin snakes?
The Metal Gear Solid remake on the GameCube?
No, we're talking about candy.
No.
Okay, well, go get yourself a bag. Your life will be changed.
I've never even seen the bag before.
So tonight, everyone, we are going to be talking about episode
Fascinating
9.
opening content.
Episode 9 of Spartacus Blood and Sand. This one is titled Whore. And,
Problematic title. Problematic.
problematic title, problematic things going on all throughout this episode. So, with that, let's just toss it over to Ploticus so he can weave his way through the minefield that is this episode.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna need you two to step up and fill in some gaps because there is so much going on in this episode. And let's see, it starts with Duro and Agron, and they're like, "Oh boy, golly, it's been 2 weeks since we've gotten the Mark of the Brotherhood." Now, the last episode was actually called the Mark of the Brotherhood, and I recall no marking of brotherhoods going on. Did people actually get the mark last episode? And
No.
I've forgotten it.
No, it's a time jump of however long gladiator training takes. They passed the test is basically what it means.
But
they just decided we didn't need to see it because we've
Yeah,
already seen it.
I get that. It's just like it just dawned on me that the episode called Mark of the Brotherhood had no markings of Brotherhood in it. Anyways, Duro and Agron are now full-fledged gladiators. They have the Mark of the Brotherhood. Vero is there, and he's being very salty because he's trying to make amends with his wife, and rightly so, because he's been kind of a dickbag the last couple episodes. But he's heard nothing back. He's got no response from his wife, and Spartacus basically tells him, you kind of deserve this.
Yeah.
But I know you're broke because you gambled away all of the money that you should have been sending to your family. Let me pay for Asher to send a fresh message to your family. And so that happens. Xena is butting up to Lycinia, who is one of the friends of Alithia that Alithia introduced Xena to.
Friends in quotes.
Yeah, friends in quotes. Lycinia she wants to fuck Spartacus, period. So she wants to partake in the pleasures of the House of Badiatus. And so,
Which are fine and known across all of Rome.
Yes, but no one knows who is partaking. They just know that partaking is happening. It's a plot point later on that secrets have to be kept. But Lycinia decides that so there's a bunch of naked slaves, and they're all wearing masks. And Lycinia is going to pick a mask, and she chooses the one that is being worn by Mira, who is going to become a important person starting from this episode through the end of season 2. But anyways, Lycinia has picked a mask, and then Alithia shows up, very bouncy and bubbly, and she's like, "Oh, I guess I showed up too early." Alithia was supposed to show up the following day, but she showed up a day early, and she very obviously did this on purpose because she wanted to eavesdrop on what's going on with Lycania.
Now, did she do this on purpose, or was this set up by a mysterious other person?
I
had that same question as well.
Alithia did this on purpose.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards what Ronan was saying. I thought that maybe Xena had sort of plotted this out from the beginning.
I don't believe so, because Xena didn't fully turn on Alithia until Alithia made it known that she wanted to fuck Crixus.
Yeah.
Which hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, you could be right. It just came across a little...
I am right. I am
strange.
Spartacus.
Okay.
I thought Alithia did this. My take was Alithia did this on purpose, specifically because she didn't. Because Alithia owns Xena. She doesn't want one of her other female friends moving in there and stealing Xena. Alithia wants to be in charge of Xena.
And Lycania is what, the daughter of Crassus or something, like the
rich
man?
a cousin or something.
Cousin,
like
yeah.
Yeah. We haven't seen Crassus yet, but he's going to be a big player later on
Richest
in the
man
series.
in Rome.
Yes. But Badiatus is all about this. Buddy up to all of the wives of rich Roman famous political people you possibly can, because that just, sets us up for the future. Anyways, Alithia immediately figures out what Lycania is up to, and then some time. I'm just going to kind of complete what Alithia is up to here. This is the next day. Alithia comes back, and she's kind of beating around the bush. She wants to also fuck a gladiator, but she wants Xena to kind of talk her into it. I don't know how else to describe that. Alithia is do you think Alithia's worry about being caught fucking a gladiator in this scene here was that legitimate?
I think so.
What? See,
I think it's legitimate
guess...
because she is a proper. She says if anybody were to find out about this, I would be dead. And even at the end, when things go down, which we'll talk about, she even says I'm going to be killed for this. So
yeah, I guess until Alithia gets her first comeuppance later on in this episode, I don't trust anything that she does. I feel like she's trying to pretend to be worried so that Xena will be more accommodating, but who knows? Apparently there are multiple ways to interpret this. But the day after Lycania is there, Alithia shows up and decides, I want to fuck a gladiator too. And Xena says, well, how about Vero? And Alithia says, oh no, Vero is far too common. I think you and I share the same taste. I want to fuck Crixus. And so...
this goes over well.
Xena loses her shit, because there's a scene before this. I mean, I'm jumping around because there's so much going on in this episode. There's a scene before this where Xena and Crixus are fucking. And afterwards, Xena wants to cuddle, and she tells Crixus, you are mine and mine alone, you belong to me. And then, 5 minutes later, Alithia shows up and says, actually, I want to fuck Crixus too. And so Xena starts throwing shit, she's yelling, she's screaming. Badiata shows up and is like, what the actual fuck is going on? And
it's
Xena...
you're costing us money, you're destroying everything. I like when Navy is there, she's like, get out of my sight, slave! She's so good in this. She's so good in this scene.
Xena's like, Xena kind of pours her heart out to Badiata. It's Xena is very aware that Alithia is not really her friend, that Alithia is doing this because she's getting something out of it. She's getting access to this ludus that she enjoys, and Xena is very aware of all of the barbs that are coming her way from Alithia, because Alithia is constantly putting her down in a way that makes it sound like she's being friendly, but it's obvious to everyone, including Xena, that she's not. And Xena has just been going along with it because they're still trying to get Glaber's patronage.
Well, Alithia makes that comment when she's talking to Lucretia earlier on in the episode. She's like, "Well, when I first came here, I thought you were so pathetic. Basically, you had no money.
Yeah.
And now look at you. You know, the higher ups in Rome are coming to visit you, and she's even putting her down in that moment, even for her success."
And when talking about Lycinia, Alithia reminds her Lycinia is a Roman woman of proper standing, and she will not hesitate to remind you of it. Never mind the fact that Alithia does that 7 times an episode. But this is the line. Xena has had enough of Alithia's shit, and she expects Badiatus to support her in basically ditching Alithia, and Xena's like, "Oh, we can buddy up to Lycinia. We don't have to fuck with Alithia anymore." And Badiatus is like, "Look, until someone gives us some fucking patronage, we are buddying up to everyone that wants to buddy up with us. Do this, do what you got to do to keep Alithia happy. And it sucks that Crixus is going to bang someone else, but that's the way shit's going to go down."
Well, that's the great thing about the scene. But that's the great thing about this scene, because we find out later, I'm going to spoil a little bit going ahead to the last episodes, but we find out that Badiatus has known about Xena and Crixus this entire time.
Yeah.
But in this scene, he rolls in, but he acts like he has no idea. He's like, what are you talking? Why is it pissing you off that this slave is going to have sex with Alithia? Who gives a fuck, right? He never even lets on to her that he has any idea that this is going on, which is just brilliant piece of acting by John Hannah. He's so good in it.
100%. But anyway, so Xena hatches a scheme, and we're going to come back to the scheme later because we need to go back and talk about what's happening with the gladiators. Asher and Crixus both get cleared to train again, and Crixus comes out. He has to basically threaten the doctor into letting him go back to training.
I didn't see that as a
threat.
Yeah, I didn't even see it as I didn't see it as a threat though. I just sort of say maybe he's friends with this doctor now because the doctor and him have spent so much time together. And he's just kind of come on, bro, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow. I didn't see it as a threat.
Oh, I did. So apparently there are lots of ways to interpret absolutely every fucking thing that happens in this episode.
Which is great.
I absolutely felt like if the doctor had insisted on a week or two, Crixus would have lost his shit on the doctor.
No.
In fairness to Steve, a friendly, that could have been a very friendly threat. Because I mean, it's Crixus. He could smile and still gut you. All this is looking good for me.
Crixus is not gonna kill the Doctor of the Ludus. Come on now.
Crixus has shown that he gives no fucks about anyone that isn't Badiatus and who doesn't have the mark of the Brotherhood.
Right, but if he kills the Doctor, you think that Badiatus is gonna let him go back out and fight? That'd be a huge problem. No.
Why would that be a problem? Why would that be a problem? Explain.
Well, it'd be a problem. Obviously, this Medicus has been with Badiatus and his family forever.
But Badiatus doesn't care.
I think he does.
Badiatus has made it clear that he doesn't care, that he can get rid of anyone at any time.
Listener out there, tell us what you think. Do you think that Crixus was threatening the Medicus or not? Leave a comment below.
Let us know how Badiatus, the guy that was ready to sell Crixus yesterday, is suddenly loyal to his fucking doctor that's not a gladiator.
That doctor has brought a lot of gladiators through some shit. He's valuable. He's highly valuable.
So is Crixus, and Badiatus was going to sell him.
Not in Well, when Badiatus was going to sell him, he didn't think Crixus was valuable. That's the difference.
Disagree.
What do you mean disagree? That's facts.
I mean, that
Ronan,
is absolutely fact.
Do you think Badiatus gives any fucks about this doctor?
More than he would care about Pietros, because the doctor is more valuable.
This is probably the doctor that also helped Oenomaus get all the way through his injuries. This doctor is important.
Yeah, a doctor is more important than like a Pietros or just some slave who's like, yeah, bring me a cup of water, bring me the wine, because like
I disagree. I think Crixus could have just massacred this doctor, and Badiatus would have bought another doctor for $3, and then
makes you,
said,
is
"Okay,
the doctor
clearly Crixus is ready to go back to fighting."
is the doctor okay? Here's a question that is kind of we're just going to derail this entire episode thing. Is the doctor a slave?
It's got to be, right?
So.
But like you say that like he's got to be, but like where's the evidence that he is?
It's a good question. Does he? We don't actually see if he lives in the Ludus or not. Is it just a doctor? Well, didn't earlier on in an episode, Badias, something happened. I remember Badias saying, "Fetch the Medicus." Like they had to go out in the middle of the night and bring the doctor in. So maybe the doctor doesn't even live with maybe the doctor is an actual citizen.
I don't know. I mean, Xena was ready to kill him or at least cut his hands off if Crixus were to not survive Theocles.
Well, that's because she loves him, and she's going to say anything at that point in time.
But it's because she's dick drunk. It's like of course she's going to say that.
Yeah, she's going to say.
Well, yeah, I guess listener, let us know what you think. I think these guys are crazy, and no one gives a shit about this doctor. Anyways, Crixus and Asher go back to training. Crixus comes out and gets kind of a hero's welcome from the other gladiators, and then Asher walks out like he's got the biggest dick. Like, Asher has returned to training. Who will stand against me? I warn you, I thirst for blood. And no one takes him seriously. And then Badiatus is like, Asher, can we chat? Can we just have a little sidebar real quick? And Badiatus tells him, you are not going back to being a gladiator. You are too valuable to me in your current role.
Well, what's so good about this is Asher walks in when the highly valuable Medicus is clearing Crixus, and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting this brace off my leg." Badiatus told me as soon as I get this brace off my leg, I can go back to being a gladiator or whatever. And Crixus just thinks it's hilarious. He's like, "You really? Stay the fuck out of my way." And then when he comes out acting all chest puffy, they're like literally laughing at him. Like nobody in this Ludus, none of the gladiators respect Asher at all. None, not a single one.
And Asher, let's go ahead and complete Asher's story for this episode. Asher is very upset by this. Like he starts like telling Dominus, "Well, what about my battles against all these people in the arena that we've never seen on screen?" I think I'm thinking back to Gods of the Arena. Like he wins a fight in the arena specifically because Dagon saved him, and then he wins the fight against Dagon during the Badiatus Tournament of Power by cheating.
Yeah, cheats.
And then he survives to the final fight in Gods of the Arena and gets his leg broken by Crixus. Like, we've never actually seen him beat anyone without cheating.
Yeah,
have we?
I think he might have had a solo fight during the opening games of the arena, maybe, but it's not shown. But yeah, you're right. More or less, like the only victory we ever see him get in the arena, at the very least, because I think he mentions like, well, what of my victory when I split such and such's head open with my axe? At the very least, he did, he did kill someone with an axe.
I thought that was when he was double teaming with Dagon. Remember when Dagon saves him and then he kills the guy after Dagon?
Yeah, I should have gone back and looked to see if the names that Asher drops in this episode were actually the names of the people from Gods of the Arena. I didn't do that, and I'm not going to. But whatever. Asher is talking himself up. Like, I got all these victories in the arena. Clearly, I am a valuable gladiator. And Badiatus is like, no. Let's just forget about all that gladiator stuff. And so he tells Asher, you got a job to do. Go do it. And so Asher goes out to find Salonius because in a previous episode, in a previous episode, Salonius tells Asher, hey, eventually Badiatus is going to fuck you over. When that happens, I'll be here waiting for you. And so Asher goes to Salonius and says, hey, you were right. I'm turning on Badiatus. Badiatus, by the way, is planning on killing you this week. He knows that you go and meet this certain prostitute every night like this specific time every week, you should probably send someone else to bang this prostitute because Badiatus is coming for you. And sure enough, we see later on Badiatus, Asher, and Spartacus's wife's murderer. I don't even know if this guy has a name, but we haven't seen him in several episodes. But he's there, and he killed the person that he thought was Salonius, as well as the prostitute. And Asher, this guy, and Badiatus chat about it. But basically, Badiatus is coming for Salonius now.
That guy seems to know, though, that's not the right guy, because he has like a worried look on his face. Like he's eyeballing Asher, and Asher's just kind of looking at him. I think both of them know that they're pulling one over on Badiatus.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I do.
Regardless,
that's the answer.
Salonius was supposed to die and didn't. So what else happens? Mira, we've mentioned her. Someone mentions to Xena, hey, it's been a while since Spartacus has gotten laid. What if he shows up for Lycinia and ends up being a one-pump chump? We don't want that to happen. And so Xena just says, oh, hey, Mira, go fuck Spartacus tonight. And Mira shows up, and Spartacus is not interested. Spartacus doesn't want to have sex with anyone who has been commanded to have sex with him, and so he sends Mira away. And the next day, Xena chews out Mira and tells her, no, you are going back tonight, and you are going to fuck Spartacus, or bad things are going to happen to you.
Swords are going to go in places you don't want them to go.
Yes, either Spartacus's cock will be inside you, or a sword will. Anyway, so Mira shows up again.
She's evil. She's just so evil.
100%. Mira shows up again, and Spartacus again tries to send her away, but Mira says, you're basically signing my death warrant if you send me away again. And so Spartacus says, okay, I don't want to sleep with you, but I do have a job for you. Earlier on in the episode, Asher comes back and tells Pharaoh, hey, I tried to deliver this message to your wife, but they were missing. Your wife and kid are missing, and there was blood everywhere. And Pharaoh starts beating the shit out of Asher. That's not correct. Pharaoh and Asher start fighting, and I would say Asher surprisingly actually holds his own to an extent against Pharaoh, even though Asher hasn't fought in 5 years.
He's a major gladiator. He's awesome, Steve. He's amazing.
100%. Remember all of those victories in the arena.
Oh, one thing before I forget, I did think it was kind of douchey when Mira goes in that second time. And Spartacus is like, no, we're not going to have sex. He's like, but you can have the floor. I was like, come on, Spartacus, be a gentleman. Give her your cot. You can sleep on the floor. Come on.
Right. Anyways, Asher gives Pharaoh bad news. Pharaoh starts a fight, and Pharaoh gets sent to the prison within the prison. He's locked up in chains for the night. But going back to Spartacus and Mira, Spartacus says, I don't want to sleep with you, but I do have a job for you. Find out what happened to Pharaoh's wife and child. And I have no idea what this means. Is Spartacus commanding her to sneak out of the ludus?
Yeah, how the fuck is she supposed to get out?
Yeah, does Spartacus think that someone in the ludus somehow has information and they're just not telling anyone? I don't know. Spartacus tells Detective Mira to get on the case, but I have no idea how she's actually meant to accomplish that. It's just a weird thing in this episode. Oh, hey, you slave girl I've just met. You look like Batman. Go and investigate. Go find out. Go solve the mystery of Pharaoh's wife and child. Weird. That's a very weird beat in the episode, but that's what happened. Crixus is out picking fights with the newbies, Agron and Duro.
Kicking their ass.
Kicking their ass. It's not even close. Crixus sees Navia flirting with a guard, and later on, Crixus is very upset with Navia, but Navia says, will you just fucking trust me for a minute? Look, I stole his fucking key, and so she lets Crixus out of the cage, and they have sex for the first time. Again, this is after Xena has told Crixus that, you belong to me, blah, blah, blah. Spartacus has his first conversation really with Agron. At this point, we have no idea how important Agron is going to become to the series. But Spartacus tells Agron, you got to stop protecting your brother Duro, because if you baby him during his gladiator training, what's going to happen when he goes out in the actual arena and has to fight someone one-on-one? And so later on, Duro gets into another fight, and Agron refuses to help him, and get the character development. Are we at the point now where we can finally talk about Xena's plan? Have I covered all of the tiny bits in the middle that we need to discuss?
I think you got most of it, yeah.
Okay, so on to the plan. It is time for Spartacus to fuck Lycinia. And so Spartacus is like covered in gold paint and given a mask of his own, and Lycinia is in this room waiting to be fucked, and she's got a mask
Lucy
on.
Lawless also gives him like these instructions.
Yeah.
You are going to be betting a proper Roman woman. Don't do this, this, or this.
Yeah, don't make any... Like, anticipate her needs, but don't fucking talk to her. Don't make any noise. You belong to her.
I love the scene, though, where Badiatus, way back early on, when Badiatus is like, hey, look, basically he's like, you're not going to fight anybody for this Roman's pleasure. You're going to have to basically fuck her. And Andy Wheelfield just kind of grins. He's like, I will do what I'm commanded. Just like, I will do whatever I need to do as the champion of the House of Badiatus.
At first, Badiatus thinks that Spartacus is going to say no, but he's
No, that's Lucy Lawless who thinks that. Badiatus is no, he's a puppy dog now. He'll do it.
Right, but when Spartacus and Badiatus are having this conversation, Badiatus tells Spartacus, you're going to fuck this woman, and Spartacus kind of walks away and like looks at a statue, and Badiatus says, do you have concerns? And he's kind of like anticipating that Spartacus is gonna pull some shit, but when Spartacus says, nope, I'm good, take it all comers, Badiatus is like relieved to an extent. Like there was a moment there where Badiatus thought Spartacus was going to say no, but Spartacus ended up saying yes. Anyways, it's time for Xena's plan. Spartacus is going to go and fuck Lycinia. And so they show up, and Spartacus fucks Lycinia, but then weirdly enough, Lycinia shows up with Xena. So who's behind this mask? Who is this masked woman? And the mask comes off, and Spartacus has actually been fucking Alithia, and Spartacus starts choking her.
Fucking baller move.
And Lycinia, while Alithia is being choked, Lycinia is like, ha ha ha, wait until I tell everyone about how the wife of Legatus Glaber fucked Spartacus, the slave that screwed over Glaber and ruined Glaber's good name. Ha 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 ha. And she starts laughing, and Alithia says, stop laughing, stop laughing, stop laughing. And she gets up and she slams Lycinia on the ground and starts bashing her head into the floor, splits her head open. So Lycinia is dead. And Badiatus is none too happy about this, because Badiatus shows up later and is like,
people are always dying in his ludus.
What the actual fuck is going on? We are screwed. We are so dead. Like, the cousin of Marcus Craxus has been murdered in our ludus. We are fucking fucked. And Xena says, no, don't worry. Lycinia kept all this a secret. She didn't tell anyone about this. She didn't tell her slaves. She didn't tell anyone where she was going. She arrived alone. All we have to do is hide the body, and no one will know about this but us. And so Badiatus says, okay, well, what about Alithia? And Xena's like, oh, don't worry. I'll handle Alithia. And Xena goes to Alithia and basically reveals to Alithia, like, hey, I knew what I was doing. I intended to fuck you over. I own you now. You will do what I say, and I will protect this secret, and then you won't be murdered. How's that for a deal? And Alithia has no choice but to accept. So the shoe is on the other foot now. Xena now has power over Alithia, rather than
Xena has hand in the relationship.
Yep. And Badiatus and Spartacus go and have a conversation. They reassert their loyalty to one another, and that's the episode. So much happened in this episode.
This is a pretty great episode, not gonna lie.
Xena's fucking devious.
I would say this is probably the episode that has just overall Lucy Lawless's best sort of performance, because she's evil, she's like enraged, she's like, you know, doing the sexy thing. She's like all over the map in this episode. It's glorious.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I mean, everybody in this episode is great. But yeah, Xena steals the show, and it's not even close. Like she gets wronged, and then she immediately hatches a plan for revenge, which I think actually goes better than she thought. Because I don't think Xena intended for Lycaenia to be murdered. I think she was like, I'm done with Alithia. I'm going to ruin Alithia, and then I will replace Alithia with Lycaenia. But it actually worked out better, because now she essentially has a rich Roman woman as her slave. Feel free to jump in with thoughts at this point.
I have a few. Okay, so I listened to the audio commentary track. I'm exceedingly disappointed with the audio commentary tracks that are just the actors, and this was one of them. So, work is calling. I wonder what that's all about. Let's not answer it.
Our network is back up.
Oh, okay. I listened to the audio commentary track. It was Viva Bianca, who plays Alithia. It was Lucy Lawless, who plays Lucretia. And it was Andy Whitfield, who plays Spartacus, of course. And I'm like, what an interesting, strange episode to have all three of them doing a commentary track on. Because I was like, okay, this is a very, sex-heavy episode, right? And I was like, well, this is just going to feel awkward. There's no, moderator. There's not a director there to moderate this conversation. Where's it going to go? Turns out it basically goes nowhere. Like most of these audio commentaries with the actors, they don't really say much on here. So I got, 3 notes. Andy Whitfield said that working with John Hannah was, the best part of working on the show. Because he was just hilarious, and apparently his personality is just awesome at all times. And Xena agreed with him that John Hannah is the best. So never got that. There's a scene when Badiatus is having sex with a slave, and Xena's they're having
gives him the nipple pinchy.
Yes, sex position is what they would call it, where dialogue is occurring while sex is happening, and it turns out that Lucy Lawless ad-libbed the twisting of Badiatus's nipple on that, so that wasn't in the script.
But then Badiatus actually came.
He might have. He certainly acted like he did. And then Lucy Lawless said it took forever to shoot the milk bath scene. Now, there's a scene when Xena first calls Lucy or Mira in, and she's basically take off your clothes, because she didn't have sex with Spartacus. And Xena's like, what do you mean you didn't have sex with him? I want to see if you're are you deformed? Why would he not go after you? But Lucy Lawless is topless in this milk bath the entire time, and she said
I didn't even notice it was milk until later on someone mentioned that it was a milk bath.
Yep, it's a milk bath, and but it took forever to shoot, according to her, because everything was, quote, too modest. Sort of implying, she didn't come out and say that the director wanted to see more naked Lucy Lawless, but apparently that's the implication. The director is more Xena boobs. We need more. I don't know if she was dropping down into the milk or what, but they had to shoot it forever, and she had to keep having her makeup touched up and everything because of the milk bath. And that's basically all I got from the audio commentary, unfortunately. I think Viva Bianca said that the gold stuff that was put all over Andy Whitfield's body smelled horrible. So, and when they were having their sex scene, which is, Lucy Lawless says that's the best sex scene in film she's ever seen, which is interesting comment. But they said that they were constantly laughing behind the masks the entire time because they just thought it was so hilarious what they were doing. So, but that's basically it. They didn't talk about much of anything on here. You don't get real cool behind the scenes tidbits or anything. So that's all I got from the audio commentary, unless you guys watched it and have something I missed.
I did not. These commentaries, though, the ones that I was watching, they seldom have any real information worth knowing.
Yeah, agreed. Usually when there's a director on or something like that, or the producers, something like that, you get a little bit more. But the actors, I don't know. It almost comes across like they were embarrassed, right? Because they're watching, because Lucy Lawless, when her scene came on, she like audibly goes, "Oh God, let's just skip this scene," because they're sitting there watching her, she's topless, right? And then Viva Bianca didn't really want to talk at all about the sex scene, other than it's the wildest, craziest thing she's ever done as an actor. So they're all just kind of silent, watching each other's naked bodies.
Yeah, I don't know what they painted Spartacus up with, but he doesn't leave gold smudges on Viva Bianca, which is, I don't know what they painted him with, but it doesn't rub off. So, that's a weird detail.
Well, I would say that Viva Bianca is a smoke show. My God. Oh, that was the other thing. So Viva Bianca did say that when her friends watched this episode, that obviously she was in the mask, and her friends texted her immediately, and they knew it was her. There was no big reveal that, oh, this isn't really Lakinia. They knew it was her because when she's walking across the Ludus towards Spartacus, she has a unique way that she walks, and all of her friends knew that was her as she was walking across. So they did not get the crazy reveal. But we all knew. We all knew when we saw her. We've seen those breasts before. We knew it was. We knew it was her.
There's only one person those titties can possibly belong to.
I mean, we've seen her before. I mean, all I'm saying is it's not like, I don't think do you think that they're actually trying to make this a holy shit reveal? Like the audience really wouldn't know that was her?
I'm trying to think back to years ago when I first watched this episode, and I honestly don't remember if I figured it out or not.
Yeah, me either. I don't remember if I was sort of blown away, or if I was like, "Oh man, he's fucking Alithia. This is gonna go so." Now, I'm gonna go on the side of I didn't see it coming, but it's been over 10 years. I don't remember.
Yeah, I also think it's interesting. There's two mentions here. I don't remember if this was... No, it was earlier this season. Steve, you made a comment when Spartacus was trying to convince Badiatus to, find his wife, right? And there's a moment where Asher, Spartacus, and Badiatus are there, and Badiatus is telling him go kick rocks, basically, and starts to walk away, and Spartacus grabs him by the arm, right? Hold up, and then there's that look of terror on Asher's face, holy shit, you just touched Badiatus, you're just a slave, you can't do that, sort of thing. Two things happen in this episode. Number one, Asher does that to Badiatus, and Badiatus looks down at the hand that's on his shoulder, and then you look back up, and Asher's forgive me. And then there's a moment when sort of Spartacus does it as well, and I just thought that was kind of interesting that Badiatus, he's not it. Even though this is taboo, right? They're just slaves. They're not allowed to put their hands on, the man of the house, so to speak. Badiatus never seems to really care all that much. I mean, he doesn't punish them for doing it or anything. It's more just he gives them the eyes. I'm gonna fucking kill you if you do it again. But they keep doing it, and it doesn't seem to matter to him.
I think it bothers him for us.
Spartacus doing it again in this episode, did he? Or you still
I'm pretty
referring
sure.
to the old one?
No, I'm pretty sure Spartacus did
Asher
it too.
doing it.
Asher did it, and Spartacus does it as well. I'd have to go back and remember. I just watched it right before the show, so it happens. Trust me.
Doubt. I'm pushing X to doubt.
Push X to doubt.
Because Spartacus and Badiatus only interact twice in this episode, right? When Badiatus tells him, "Hey, you're gonna fuck Lakinia," and then at the end when Spartacus is washing the gold off him, I don't remember them.
I can't be crazy. I can't be crazy. Or maybe I
No,
can.
I think you are.
Doubt.
I think you are. Steve is right. That's the only time that they really interact this episode is when he's first telling him that he's going to do it.
I guess I'm just going to have to watch this episode again then.
How dare you?
Imagine what scene you're going to go slow-mo on.
Yeah, this is a great episode. Great episode. Love this episode. It sets up like just tease up what's going to happen, and especially with Steve's favorite episode coming up here.
Yeah, shit gets real sad, and somehow even darker in the next couple episodes.
Alithia, maybe Xena's underestimated her a little bit. We shall see. We shall see. Ronan, your thoughts on this episode? What do you think about it?
Like this is a really good one. It's a lot. Well, almost that's a lot better. It's better than the last episode, which because I remember we were talking about that. It's like the last episode. It's an okay one. This is a much better kind of setup one where you can tell that they're raising the stakes, whereas the last one was just kind of setting up this episode. Really, when you think about it. It's a very good episode, and the stake, all the tension is starting to get raised up, and now, we know that more plans are being laid into place. We know that now, there's a plan set in motion for Salonius to some extent, and how is that going to go? Oh no! And now Lucinia is very firmly within the grasp of Lucy Lawless. And they're setting stuff up with Varro too. And so many pins are being set up, only to be knocked down.
Speaking of last episode, it should have been clear before, but if it wasn't, Badiatus and Xena, they're not oblivious to the fact that
they knew. It's in the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, Alithia paid Segavax to kill Spartacus. Badiatus and Xena know this, and they're having to roll with it because they still want Glaver's patronage.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Jupiter's Croc. Next Thursday, we will be back with the episode Party Favors, which is Steve's favorite episode of the series.
Yep. Going all in.
Oh, I've already folded out of
already
his
folded.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
Well, I'll let you go all in.
Bitches.
Go ahead, go all in, Steve.
No, we're waiting for next hand. We're all going all in.
Okay, Jesus.
This is happening.
This is happening,
Continue
folks.
the outro.
Yeah, so Party
keep
Favors.
buying time.
Party Favors, just to tee up a little bit of what we'll talk about, I remember when I first saw that episode, and I was shocked. I was stunned at the thing that they did, because it was completely unexpected to me. And that's what this show does so well. It's being able to set up things that are like, well, I think it's going to go this way, and they just pull the rug out from underneath you, and it goes a completely different way. It really sets the stage, I think, next episode, where we're really going to start seeing Spartacus as how the fuck do I get out of this place? How do I get out of this place? And trying to be a salesman of sorts to try to, get everybody ready to try to get out of this place. But he's got a couple of people he's really got to convince. He's got to convince Crixus and Onomaus, and will he be able to do it?
Yeah, the stuff he does with what's her name, Syrah, Mira, is that her name?
Mira.
Mira, that's it. Yeah, because at this point he still hasn't quite fully signed on to the whole, the idea of him being a liberator for people's rights. But they do set up that is still part of it. He'll happily fuck this random Roman woman who wants it, but he's not going to do anything to a slave who was forced into it. So we know that's
called consent, Roman.
Yeah, that moral compass is there. Him still not being down with the idea of slavery, really fully committing to it yet.
So what if Mira had been like, no, man, I really want to have sex with you. I'm consenting to this. Let's do it.
On, and so.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about in that moment. Would he have believed her?
I don't know.
She could have talked him into it.
I don't think she could have talked him into anything. I mean, she was really showing herself and been like, "Don't you want me?"
We've been killing time for 2 or 3 minutes while that hand ended, so now we can comply. We can finish up with poker.
All right, everyone's going all in.
Don't
look
at
at your cards. Don't look at your cards, Ronan.
Well, fuck off.
Is that Larry, the cable guy in the back there? All right, all in.
Boom. All in.
in.
See, the actual viewer / listener, they're not here to
Are you going
have
all in?
I hit all in. What is happening here?
There
Okay.
you go.
All right.
Sometimes you have to
Character-
do it twice.
It's this
Character
PS4
was
button,
waiting.
maybe. I don't know. The PS4 controller. The button must stick.
It
I don't know.
probably is.
But this is what the people are here for. They don't care about hearing about Spartacus. They're here for the last 2 minutes of every episode to see who's going to come out on top when we all go in.
Mongrel on mongrel!
How do you
Who
have
will
20,000
win?
caps?
Yeah, I was
What
just
am I
all
talking-
Caps. I do that all the fucking time.
You're,
Oh yeah, all
you
right.
guys-
Oh, all
take it.
right. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Oh,
Uh-oh,
King 9.
King
I
nine.
like that. 10
Ronan's got
fuck.
nothing.
Good.
Steve's
I
got.
need queens. No, Jesus, I just.
Ooh.
Need,
I'm currently in the lead.
I don't
okay.
even know if I can win. I think
hate you.
I've definitely lost this.
Oh,
I hate
no.
this game. What? I hate poker. I hate
Oh,
cards.
no.
I hate the very
Oh,
concept.
No.
All right, I need a 9. I need a 9.
Who won?
Oh, I got 2 pair. Somehow I ended up with 2 pair.
I did not win. That person won
no.
65,000.
Yeah, I
What
don't
a
think
stupid
I
idea,
had-
Steve.
Yeah, no, I busted out. We, cut.
All right, we killed stream.